From one trader making more than $500,000 after going full-time trading to another turning just $300 into $26,000 in just 3 weeks. We are going to go over the most insane trades of this week. Trader by the name of GameStop is after the first year of full-time trading up by 339% or $554,000, bringing his account all the way up to $718,185. And with an exception of that huge dip in the beginning of the year, his chart is rising very consistently. He turned 30k into 200k with crypto. Then he took that 200k and turned it into 700k by using concentrated position sizing in high beta tech stocks. Almost never has he used leverage or options. His biggest gain was 110k and loss was 70k. He only trades shares and rarely plays earnings. Usually he's just concentrating into a stock that's a leader in the current hot theme and riding it. He almost never buys dips, just rides strong stocks. He sources ideas from all over and always starts with macro. Then it gets more granular from there. He looks for hot themes and then the strongest companies within those themes. He picks up on trends and then makes investment decisions very quickly and manages risk with stop losses. So his downside is defined going into the trade. He has good instincts, but discipline around stock picking, positioning, sizing and risk management have been game-changing this year. He tries to hold for as long as the stock keeps going up. When he gets stopped out, he moves on. His typical hold time is usually between 2 weeks and a month, and he'll usually de-risk somewhat ahead of earnings or CPI. He usually sets a stop loss between 7 to 10% and up to 15% for more volatile small caps. He'll tighten or relax the stops as needed, usually after each trading day based on how the stock performed and its updated technical levels. He'll trade anything from microcap to large cap, but for microcap he usually wouldn't make more than 10% of his total portfolio. He usually only buys stocks that have earnings and revenue growth or that are in an industry that has a lot of catalysts coming up. He only buys stocks that are technically strong and trending higher. He doesn't buy stocks that are trading under their 200-day moving average or try to time the bottoms. He takes profits when he gets stopped out. He has a predefined stop loss and then adjusts the stop loss as needed, but hopefully not all that often. Adjusting the stop loss is more of an art than science. To explain, the idea is to use the stop loss to firstly predefine the loss you're willing to take if the trade is a bad one, and then secondly, if the trade is a good one, the stop loss becomes a trailing stop loss. So to sum up his whole strategy, he starts with the macro, then he drills down into certain themes that should work based on that macro environment. He then used fundamental analysis to identify the strongest companies and investments within the theme. Then he uses technical analysis to confirm a stock or investment is acting right or how you'd expect it to, and then to figure out when to buy if all things check out. He then uses stop loss to manage risk, both defining downsides, so the total loss he's willing to accept at the onset, and also as a trailing stop loss to manage the trade if it works. He regularly assesses how each investment is correlated to others and how much percentage is at risk, all positions current price and stop losses. He'll monitor macro, company news, insider transactions, earnings and general knowledge of technical analysis to inform himself when he should adjust trading stop loss or trim the position as the trade progresses and when to take profits. A trader who goes by name of KK Dopas is in options hell. He's down by 96% or $50,718 and is left with about $1,500. But before he lost almost everything in a very short time, he was up by 49% or $25,000, bringing his account to $77,135. He's been investing since 2017 but got into options in mid-2021 since he became more confident in stocks, and then he quickly made around 25k. He was so excited getting close to 100k. His peak was 88k and that's where he lost the ball. He thought that stocks such as Alibaba, PayPal, Lemonade and Tenface were undervalued since they had already fallen by about 20 to 30%, so he decided to spend half if not more of his portfolio on buying call options. By then it all went downhill. He would say to himself to get out of the market, but he kept buying more and more, hoping he would be able to make his losses back. That's how he lost all of of his savings. Now he's trying to climb back, but it's damn hard. All he can do is slave himself to work and make it all over again. He surely has a spot in the Regards Hall of Fame. A trader who goes by the name of Prostate or Prostate started taking Nvidia gains after 12 years. On August the 13th, 2012, he spent a total of $142.72 to buy 400 shares of Nvidia at an average buying price of 37 cents. This year he finally started selling and realized a profit of $53,113.42, meaning that he made a gain of 37,000%. He tries not to think how much he would have today if he had not sold any over the past 12 years though. If anyone is wondering why has he been selling, he had to pull the trigger due to life events and to pay off some debt. A trader who goes by the name of Jaskin TR turned just $300 into $26,000 in just 3 weeks. In the past month, he's up by 4,100% or $25,392, bringing his account all the way up to $25,117.65, with his chart looking very consistent. He's been doing options since the beginning of this summer. He started out with around 1.8k, he was quickly down to his last $300 and decided to all in into Tesla before the earnings on October the 24th, landing him 3.2k. It just snowballed from there and he finally reached 26k today. He bought Tesla because he compared it to other stocks during June and saw that Tesla was extremely low compared to the rest of the market. The dip during the Robotaxi event was also a huge overreaction. All of his other positions were mainly earnings plays that he sold before they released. But yes, he did still gamble a bit, because his cousin and him like to trade together. His cousin sometimes has dreams about how the market performs. Somehow his dreams are always wrong, so they decided to inverse it at some point down the line. Some of his plays are influenced by that, as it has worked 10 out of 11 times. A trader who goes by the name of Psyops is a true who will never learn. He's down by 99% or $87,125 and is left with just $260.67, although he did make one gain before his account started falling down very consistently. A trader who goes by the name of Draken ILD learned an important lesson. Don't YOLO on presidential elections to revenge trade. He lost 98% of his money or $14,000 and is left with $272.82. He enabled options around March and went on a slide. He started to stabilize and at least lose money slower. He figured Harris at 42 cents when the polls were that even was an expected value win and went all in, about $4,000 worth. And well, it did not go well. A trader who goes by the name of Shaq Diesel 11 is quite happy because Robinhood gave him a 200k bonus just to hold his ETFs there. He transferred a total of about $10 million to Robinhood. He's less than 30 years old and had a little self-made business that he retired from this year. But despite his early retirement, he just isn't happy. You see, he's been depressed since he left college and has been going to therapy for 1.5 years and just got prescribed antidepressants. He feels like he has no more dreams or purpose. What the is he supposed to do anymore? Making money was his sole enjoyment. Now he doesn't enjoy anything anymore. Those antidepressants him up so bad and made everything worse. But he realized from that experience that he had more control over his mind than he thought. He just does way more things now, like getting groceries or playing basketball. That changed everything. A trader who goes by the name of Midnight Owl made a 140k gain. He's up by 1600% or $132,000, which means that he opened his position with just $8,000. It looks like he bet on Altria earnings beat. Before the earnings, he even posted an extensive DD explaining why he was bullish on Altria, and I'll just point out his main points. Altria's main business is tobacco, and Marlboro is the superstar here, holding one of the largest shares of the US cigarette market. While cigarette sales have declined, Altria's pricing strategies and cost management keep this segment solid. The company also expanded into smokeless tobacco, nicotine pouches, and cannabis. On top of that, it also has reliable dividends. Philip Morris and Altria stocks often move in sync, and 1 week before Altria's earnings, Philip Morris reported outstanding earnings, sending its stock up more than 10% in a big rally. A trader who goes by the name of Embarrassed Durian 17 set a hard rule of taking profits at 25%. This rule got him to a 92% or a $40,000 gain, bringing his account all the way up to $83,194 with a very consistent chart. On top of that, he just sold his Amazon calls for another 10k. It's been a good year and he's thanking WallStreetBets as he got his start with an Nvidia YOLO because of this stock. In each trade, he risks a 15% loss for a 25% gain. When he buys a call, he usually buys with a strike price around 50 to 70% in the money. So if the price is $200, his strike will be around $125 to $150 and about 6 months out at least. That gives him some time to ride out volatility and a decent buffer. A trader who goes by the name of PayProp.DA made a 1,137% gain thanks to Tesla. Yes, he's up by $23,420 with his position being worth 24.5k, which means he spent about $1,000 on display. On November the 4th, he bought just 4 days till expiry Tesla calls. He made a bold decision a couple of days ago. Every price jump has tugged at the nerves, making one fearful of both missing out on more upside and pulling back on profits. His heart is beating like crazy and he feels an overwhelming sense of excitement and accomplishment. A trader who goes by the name of I don't know dude, shut up, watched it skyrocket and did nothing. What exactly did he watch? Well, his 800 Nvidia shares, which he bought at an average price of just 69 cents. He spent a total of $155.18 and now his position is worth $111,000. But despite this 20,000% gain, he's not happy. Every day he looked at it and thought it was the peak. He thinks after the 1000th day he's thought that he should have changed his strategy. And if you want to see what happens when you make a DD of a lifetime, click on the video just popped up. If you like my content, make sure to subscribe and thanks for watching.